This is the Hound Pit's pub. Closed for business. Half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing. Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the Watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart. Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the Loyalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, he can. I expect they're hard at work in there. Best join them. They'll help you get whoever really killed the Empress. I'm sure the Admiral is anxious to meet you. It wasn't easy getting you here. I wouldn't hang about if I were you. From what I understand, time's getting short.
Welcome to the Hound Pit Pub, sir. How may I help?
Hello, sir. I am Wallace, and this is Cecilia. We have been informed of your arrival and will do our best to stay out of your way while you conduct your business.
Yes. Lydia's a servant here as well.
If I may, I am the personal assistant to Lord Pendleton, and one of the senior servants at Pendleton House, as was my father. Now I am entrusted with this house, the home of the Loyalists. I have never seen the Admiral fail at any venture. If order can be restored to the city of Dunwall, I believe he can do it. If anyone can get your old life back, it's him. I don't need to tell you, if the authorities investigated this place, we would be hard-pressed to explain ourselves. We brought a few trifles over from Pendleton Manor. A touch of home in these trying times. Your room in the loft should assure your privacy. Lord Pendleton was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, but there was a great shuffling of the aristocratic families. My lord was attacked by vipers from all sides. I understand you were once welcome at court before the murder. May I say I am relieved to have another man here who knows the courtly world. This building has stood here for over 3 centuries. As long as Lord Pendleton calls it home, I would defend it with my life. I may well have to.
Attention all citizens. Curfew extends from sundown to sunrise unless you are otherwise authorized. Violators will be subject to interrogation and detained when necessary. Remember, the boldest measures are the safest. Attention, citizens of Dunwall. The Old Port District has been added to the evacuation list. The weeper count for the month of siege has increased. The Lord Regent has decreed that plague ordinances will remain in effect through the month of rain. Stay alert and stay loyal. River traffic is forbidden from landing in the Distillery District due to risk of infectious contact. Violators will be taken to the Flooded District for treatment and rehabilitation. Do not attempt to house or care for a friend or family member who shows signs of blood on their face and chest area. The only way to help them is to bring them to the City Watch. They will be taken to the Flooded District for treatment. Attention Dunwall citizens. Be advised the river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and Flooded District. Do not attempt to approach or destroy a river crust. Any items recovered from doing so are considered state property.
Attention Dunwall citizens. Lady Emily Caldwin was abducted 6 months ago during her mother's terrible murder. Anyone with information leading to the location or return of the daughter of our beloved late Empress is required to speak to the City Watch at once.
So it's starting at last, Admiral. We've found our man. Even after 6 months in Coldridge Prison, he slipped out like it was nothing.
Yes. Not surprising. He was the personal bodyguard of the Empress. You've heard the stories.
Yes, I have. It still amazes me that someone could get to the Empress and young Lady Emily.
No one knows the real story, Trevor. We all have our suspicions. We'll know the truth in time.
He's strong and quick. But I hope he understands subtlety as well.
This isn't one of your fancy dress parties. The reality is that we need men killed. Have you ever killed a man?
Only with my wit. But it's a fair point as always. He'll be here soon, and I'm looking forward to meeting him.
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton. The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock. A true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pit's pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry. You must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Yes. Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need. Go talk to him, and then get some sleep. We can talk more when you've rested. Good to have you with us, Corvo. Nothing against the others, but there's no substitute for a man who's done his service for the crown. Have you talked to Piero yet? He made the weapons we left for you on your way out of Coleridge Prison. Go see him when you can. You don't know what it means to work with a man who stood at the Empress's right hand. We can't bring her back, but at least we have the man she trusted most. And maybe we can help you right some of the wrongs done to you. This bar is mine, but please, treat it as your home. Piero still wants a word with you. He's not a diplomat, but he's a brilliant man. Samuel is a blessing. Without him, we couldn't navigate the waters of the river at night. We keep our lights low to avoid prying eyes. What I wouldn't give to be back at sea. I told them I'd be damned if I sail under a usurper's flag. You should have seen their faces. Curse the Lord Regent. I might have taken to piracy after the Navy, but then inspiration struck me, and I started assembling our little group here. The Empire was built on its Navy. Never forget that. I served proudly until the bureaucrats took over. Pendleton's a good man. Used to be close to that snake, the Lord Regent himself. Don't be fooled by the fact that Pendleton's a noble, though. Not all of them are terrible. I bought this bar years ago. There were some happy times here before the plague hit the city. Before the Empress was killed and everything went to shit. We'll make it right again together.
The Admiral served in the Navy under the Empress, but something happened with the Lord Regent that drove the Admiral out. If I understand it right, Admiral Havelock made it very clear that we aren't to carry lamps outside. Maybe you haven't seen much of it, but the city has changed a great deal after the Empress died. Since the Lord Regent took over, the city watch is best avoided. Most people try not to go outside at all. We can't leave the pub. I've nowhere to go anyway. My apartment was in the flooded district.
Oh my! You startled me. Ah, you could only be Corvo. I suppose you're practicing for your, well, your job? You're much younger than I expected. Do make yourself at home. Terrible you got blamed for the death of the Empress, rest her spirit. I'm sorry it's so dark. We can't risk being seen. It is a bit romantic, though, isn't it? I used to be the hostess here. Oh, I could tell you stories about that, believe me. You can call on Cecilia for the more menial tasks. It's what she's suited for. I hope the bed's to your liking. Let me know if you have trouble sleeping.
Log entry 1-4. It seems we have moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to the staging location. With Pendleton's voting bloc and my military connections, all we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point, we need a man who can kill the bastards for us. Corvo is more than capable of that, I have no doubt. End log. Is this off? Switch. Switch, where the hell is it?
My furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which... Wallace! Please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
Pleased to meet you, Master Corvo. I saw you at court in happier days, but you might not remember. I was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, Hiram Burroughs, back when he was just the spy master. He's one manipulative bastard, I can tell you that. There's something distinguished about you, Corvo. Was there nobility back in your family line? I wouldn't be surprised. Did you know I'm distant kin to the late Empress and her line? Not close enough, sadly. I'll never be Emperor. Most of the nobility went straight over to the Lord Regent's side after the Empress died. Easiest thing to do. But to me, a noble birth requires a sense of loyalty. This city has fallen into ruin since the plague struck. These poor weepers moaning and bleeding from the eyes. They say there's no cure for the plague once it advances that far. Terrible.
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear, all custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin. No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil's run out. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. The oil's unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess. The dispenser upstairs will provide you with a fresh tank of whale oil. They're heavy, but you are no doubt strong enough to carry one back down here if you would. Handle them gently, or they will explode and kill us both. Did I mention that already? The device is fragile in this state. I must attend to it. The whale oil is in the tanks filled with the blue fluid, when they aren't drained anyway. Do you see it? The dispenser on the wall upstairs? Please, Corvo, hurry! All my progress will be lost without energy.
The Academy teaches that absurd idea that the energy in whale oil arises from the need to maintain life functions at extreme ocean depths. The pressure and the cold are too much to endure without it. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time, and then observe them for years if need be, to see if the formulation of energetic substances develop. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities subject to the necessary legal amnesty.
Perfect. Now plug it in. Just get it near the receptacle. Magnetism will do the rest. Perfect. Thank you, Cole. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face, but this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Center lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables, and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need. Tell me what I can make for you. You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can. Very well. You know best. Let me know if you need anything more.
I once served under Admiral Havelock. Captain Havelock then. I don't know if he remembers me, but I fear it's rude to ask. I don't want to embarrass him. I was just a common riverman, hauling parcels and such along the river. But I know how to keep my trap shut, I do. This is about as far downriver as I care to go. Toward the flooded district, the river's thick with corpses. I've seen battles in my younger years, and I see you've got the stuff. Say the word, and I'll back you. All of the little people in the city like me, we miss the Empress something terrible. And the fact that young Lady Emily is out there somewhere still lost, it's just too much for most folks to think about.
You've met Piero. Good. You'll want to get some rest now. You'll be needed soon. Lord Pendleton's servant, Wallace, awaits you upstairs. He can show you to your chambers. Sleep well.
Is the man dangerous?
Yes, very much so, but no need to fear. He is here to work with our masters.
People say he killed the Empress.
Of course he didn't. People are foolish and believe whatever they're told.
Okay. If the Admiral trusts him, then so will I.
Please follow me to your quarters. This building has stood here for over 3 centuries. As long as Lord Pendleton calls it home, I would defend it with my life. I may well have to. This is your room. It was chosen to give you privacy. I understand you'll need your rest.
Hello, Corvo. Your life has taken a turn, has it not? The Empress is dead. Her precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come. For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the outsider, and this is my mark. There are forces in the world and beyond the world, great forces that men call magic. And now, these forces will serve your will. Use this newfound power, my gift to you. Come find me. days that follow, your trials will be great, Corvo. Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and at shrines raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men. To help you find these runes, I give you this, the heart of a living thing, molded by my hands. With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes, no matter how they may be hidden. Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
This place is the end of all things, and the beginning. All of time is meaningless here. Neither seconds, nor centuries. Someday this place will devour all the lights in the sky. The one who walks here is all things. Cradle songs of comfort in bones gnawed by teeth. This is the place from which those who dabble in black arts draw their power. And this place is their doom. I can feel a great age ending. This place is the end of all things, and the beginning. All of time is meaningless here. Neither seconds, nor centuries. Someday this place will devour all the lights in the sky. The one who walks here is all things. Cradle songs of comfort in bones gnawed by teeth. This is the place from which those who dabble in black arts draw their power. And this place is their doom. They are burning whales.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you. And now I return you to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
A reminder to all citizens, inspect your neighbor's spaces closely. If there is any sign of life on the islands or machines, you must notify one of the city watch. Early stages of the plague involve coughing and fever, and can often be remedied through the liberal consumption of Sokolov's elixir. Once bleeding from the eyes occurs, death is inevitable. All suspicions of plague, regardless of severity,
Somewhere in the basements below, hound kills hound, and money changes hands. Such laughter, and they're singing the old songs, linking arms. But that was from a happier time. Deals are made here, sometimes under the influence of wine, and sometimes the influence is the point of a knife. Before the sun rises, they toss any casualties into the river. Men or hound, they all go in. They top off the wine with river water, but eventually someone swoons. Then fresh bottles are fetched from the cellars. Their fate rests on your effort, on the strength of your hands and of your heart. They stood in a circle around the candles and cut their hands to form their alliance. The blood hissed as it touched the flames. The conspirators have found a safe home here. They take great care that they are not followed. The ale here is sweetened with honey to hide the taste of river brine. The sober speak in whispers. The drunk bellow. Fortunes have been won here, and lives have been lost. The old man claimed a dark corner and drank himself into oblivion. The hounds were the first to find him. The doom of Pandussia has come to the city.
Should I clear space for Samuel then?
If you like, but he won't use it.
Why?
He can't sleep in regular beds anymore, or that's what he says. Says he was in the Navy too long. Can you believe it?
Oh.
That pile of wood out there? It's a hovel he built from an old rowboat. Where does Admiral Havelock find these people, I wonder? I had a sailor for a boyfriend once. He thought he'd strike gold digging in the Pandussian cliffs. They found his ship drifting empty. You know, I tried to attend services with the overseers for a while. They've just gotten more and more, I don't know, rabid about the 7 strictures and witchcraft and all that nonsense. I think the Admiral's awfully distinguished, don't you? Everyone I know cried the day we heard the news about the Empress. Poor woman. And her little daughter lost. From what I understand, it just killed the Admiral to be cast out from the Navy. That was his life. before the Lord Regent came along. Someone came and banged on the door a few nights ago. I thought Lord Pendleton would piss himself. Oh, begging your pardon. To think what I spend smuggling in wine for his lordship. That Wallace can cook, yes, but the way he talks to us, you'd think he was a lord himself. I'd work for you for a year for free if you managed to get that Lord Regent off the throne. None of the shops are open, all the business has dried up, and most people can't even walk the streets. That man's a blight on the city.
The other servants don't like her. Work is never done for the lowly servant. Her servant wages will not be enough to fix her father's debts. For all the hard work, there is little reward for her. If she lives until tomorrow, her day off, she will be mauled by weepers and left for dead. Do not pity the servant. There is pride in a job well done. There is not a day that goes by she does not consider taking her own life. The household is treated poorly, but there are worse ways to earn a coin. The pain in her back is constant. Nothing helps.
I hope you're well rested. The Admiral has some adventures in store for you, but only he knows the details. I'm forbidden from ferrying you anywhere unless the Admiral says to do so. He's up in the common room. You'd better speak to him. Admiral Havelock is asking to speak to you. I think he's in the common room. I'm ready any time, but you better ask Admiral Havelock exactly where you're going. Current's slow these days. The river's silting up. Strange little eddy here. Think maybe a riverboat went under? Piero made a sextant for me once, but I told him I'd lost it. Truth is, I was never good at calculating. I wish I could attend services again. The plague has everything shut down, and the overseers might have lost their way a bit if you were to ask me. Care more about witchcraft and the like nowadays than keeping common folk happy. I hate that feeling, when you're bumping up against a body.
Samuel Beechworth went to sea to forget a hopeless love. He succeeded. The boatman has a good heart and respects you. Samuel is a simple man, but he knows the River Redhaven and all its tributaries, down to the smallest inlet. He has many scars, some from the phlegm of the river crusts, some from the nameless monsters of the deep ocean. Samuel was once eager to hear Havelock's stories of the sea, but perhaps the Admiral is not what he expected.
Part of the soul live in the heart? If the heart keeps beating, does that mean that the spirit is never released into oblivion? keep a heart beating forever with electricity, but what does that mean for any essence trapped within? It'd be easier if I created these processes in waking hours. I am uneasy pursuing avenues that emanate from my dreaming mind.
Hevlok stopped in earlier, but I forgot what he wanted. He's waiting to see you, I believe.
Each and every night, the black-eyed outsider visits upon Piero's dreams. He is Piero Joplin. Even now, he visualizes the next invention. Astonishing. I wish you could see it too. Poor Piero. His elixirs have cured so much for so many, but they cannot cure his brain fevers. The youngest ever to pass through the Academy of Natural Sciences. Sokolov will never forgive him that. He has spied upon Callista as she bathes, more than once.
Good day, Master Corvo. Lydia and I trade chores sometimes, and I'm starting to think I never come out ahead. She's a smart one. I hope the attic's to your liking. I've slept there myself on summer nights. I went and knocked on the front door a few nights ago for a joke. No one thought it was funny. My sister lost a tooth last month, fighting off some officer from the City Watch. The sooner the Lord Regent is gone, the better, I say. Just you wait. I'll own this place one day. I've dreamed it.
She hides her hands. They are raw and scarred from the washing. The common woman, she fears the Abbey and the plague. She is a seamstress in a shop frequented by the wealthy. There is nothing common about the work she does every day. All she wants is to lay herself down in the middle of Froling Street and await death. The fabric of the city is made of stuff such as she. She starves so that her children can have bread. The common folk, simple-minded, selfish, but they can be kind. She has only one dress and wears it to tatters. The common woman, she fears the Abbey and the plague. If only she had a coin for every time she stubbed her toe. There is nothing common about the work she does every day. Now the littlest one is sick. The fabric of the city is made of stuff such as she. She can hold her drink as well as any man.
Seems to have arrived in good shape. Much better than I expected, given what I've seen of Coldridge Prison. He seems willing to work with us, and he shouldn't lack for motivation. The man has lost everything. We'll judge how he performs in the field. And if I can, I'll find a way to test him personally.
He spies on his neighbors and reports to the overseers. Only after a long day of work will he return to his home and family. He always eats very well, even as his wife and child grow thin. It is in the common man that the Abbey finds its most faithful. He steals from his business partner a little every day. Some men can still find work along the waterfront. He didn't tend to that cut, and now it festers. A man is only as common as his dreams. All that he had was lost in the flood. Only after a long day of work will he return to his home and family. He used to admire the overseers. Now he fears them. It is in the common man that the Abbey finds its most faithful. That work was the best he could do, and still they weren't satisfied. Some men can still find work along the waterfront. He is tired.
Are you a nobleman, Corvo? No one seems to know much about you. By your bearing, I'd say so. Lord Pendleton's great-grandfather took a Sakonan chambermaid to wife. On second thought, the story doesn't bear repeating. Even the finest blood can go bad, here and there. There's a little Tivian blood in the Pendleton line. That's the worst anyone could say about them. I think it's come out in the brothers, just a little bit. My Lord Trevor's pure as the Empress herself, I'm happy to say. The Pendletons are quite wealthy, but they were noble long before that. You've heard rumors about the Pendleton mines being worked by slaves, I suppose. Never been there myself, and I refuse to believe it. They say Custis Pendleton made an improper remark to the Empress once, and you ejected him from a state dinner before asking who he was. Well done, I say. This plague has ruined the social season for all of us.
Lord Pendleton Memoirs, Chapter 27. In my 13th year, the despised stepmother at last departed, and Pendleton Hall was again quiet, although Father had by then sunk into deep depression. It was at this sensitive time that Waverly Boyle first entered my life. She who will be the source of many tender recollections to come.
Admiral Havelock has seen more corpses than all the rest put together. He has killed whales and men for profit and pleasure. He has the bloodlust. He tried to seize control of the military after the Empress. After she, the Empress, was murdered. Look at him. Admiral Havelock grows restless on land. There was a younger brother, an artist, sensitive, soft, taken at 9 by a fever. Havelock loved him truly.
Well, let's get down to it. First off, I know that assassination is dark business, but sometimes good men have to do bad things to make the world right. Our purpose is clear. We want to restore Her Majesty's line by finding and putting Emily Kaldwin on the throne. To those ends, we'll hide, act in shadow, take them apart, piece by piece. Tonight, High Overseer Campbell dies by your hand. It won't be easy. He's protected by his overseers, an army of religious zealots. But if anyone can do it, you can. Your exploits are legendary. Campbell carries a private journal. Once you've eliminated him, get the journal, because we think it contains Emily's location. Recovering her is obviously critical, assuming she's alive. That's the gist of it. Remember our cause and strike true. We're counting on you. Another thing. Campbell is holding a former overseer by the name of Martin. He's one of us, and if you manage to find him, give him whatever help you can. He's a master strategist, and he got caught working for our cause. It'd be good to have him back here at the Hound Pits. Glad to see you got your rest, Corvo. You'll need it. Say, that's an interesting tattoo on your hand. Saw a lot of that in the Navy, but nothing quite like yours. Keep your eye out for Martin. I need him back here if we're going to pull this off. High Overseer Campbell tricked and bullied his way into power. The man is completely corrupt. The City Watch and the Overseers can't stand each other. The military doesn't mix well with a bunch of religious fanatics. You might be able to use that. Nervous? I would be. Tonight is the beginning of a new life for you. But you're killing for a just endeavor. Remember that. High Overseer Campbell is a bastard, and we've got to find Emily. The Overseers are a strange bunch, completely obsessed with the 7 strictures and hunting down heresy. I don't know if I believe in all that witchcraft bunk, but I saw some odd things at sea.
What can I do for you?
Elementary sums, history of the Isles, geography of the Isles, the Seven Strictures, litany of the White Cliff, sayings of the Overseer. One day we'll get a few new books.
Oh, Corvo? If you've a moment.
She is Callista Kurnow. She has learned to defend herself in this treacherous city. She and her uncle, the last of the Kurnow family. She dreams of freedom, and the decks of whaling ships fast after the beasts of the sea. But alas, she is a woman. Such sadness.
Corvo. Hello. I'm Callista. I work here for Admiral Havelock. I'm sorry to intrude on your business, but this is important. I suspect you're going to kill the High Overseer. That wretched man. There's really no reason for you to listen to me, but my uncle, Jeff Kurnow, still serves as captain in the City Watch. But he's a good man, and my only family. The chatter in servant circles is that Campbell just took delivery of an exotic poison, and I think I know why. My uncle's not corruptible like the rest of them. Campbell is going to poison my uncle. Do you think you could protect him? You used to do that, right? Before you had your current profession. Before you became an assassin. I overheard the Admiral at breakfast, talking about the Overseers. That's all I heard. And I think it's better if I don't know too much about what you people are doing. He's my uncle, and he means a lot to me. His name is Jeff Kurnow. Captain Jeff Kurnow. You traveled with my uncle briefly, didn't you? Doing something for the Empress. Killing Jeff Kurnow won't help the Loyalist plan in the least. That mark on your hand is strange. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before.
Ready to go? Just give the signal.